Okay, so good morning, students. Today we are going to take a new chapter of history, that is chapter number 4, the creation of an empire. So, the learning objectives of this chapter will be first, to trace the growth and expansion of the Mughal Empire. Second, to understand the relation of the Mughals with other rulers. And to understand the impact of imperial administration at the local and regional levels. Okay, लोकल लेवल एंड रीजनल लेवल्स के ऊपर, प्रोविंशियल लेवल्स के ऊपर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन किस तरह से थी उस टाइम में ड्यूरिंग द मुगल एम्पायर. वी विल study about that and to understand the agrarian relations under the Mughals. Okay, so we will study about all these things today. So let's first let the all the people join, then we will move further. So here is the introduction. At the outset of the 16th century, India presented a picture of political disunity and fragmentation. Okay. So there was disintegration of the biggest empires at the outset, at the starting of the beginning of the 16th century. There was absence of any central authority and the small kingdoms were constantly at war with each other, and this made Babur's task easier. So who was Babur? Babur was a ruler, Persian ruler. Okay. So the political situation in India was worst. Every kingdom was fighting with another kingdom, and the size of the kingdoms were also very small. They were not united together by any central power. So it makes India vulnerable for invasions, for foreign invasions. Now Babur took it as an opportunity to attack India. He took the initiative and attacked India. Let's see how he did it. So in the north, Kashmir was independently ruled by a powerful ruler, Zainul Abidin. In northwest, Marwar became independent under Maharaja Jodha. Mewar was under two very strong and powerful rulers, Rana Kumbha and Rana Sanga. Okay, so this was the political situation of the states that are on the western front. That means that are on the western parts of our country. It means they were not stable. Though the states in Rajasthan, Marwad and Mewad were little bit stronger. Malik Sarwar, the governor of Jaunpur during the reign of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, declared himself to be an independent ruler and established the Sharki dynasty. So another ruler, Firoz, that was Malik Sarwar. Okay, he declared himself independent and established his own kingdom and own dynasty known as the Sharki dynasty. Bengal, Malwa, Khandesh, and Gujarat too became independent. So all these were the small kingdoms. Okay, they were under some central authority, but after the disintegration of that means after the disintegration of दिल्ली सल्तनत के ख़त्म होने के बाद पूरा जो इंडिया है छोटे छोटे प्रोविंसेस में, स्टेट्स में बंट गया. एंड दे द rulers declared themselves independent in the absence of a central authority. Okay, so क्या था कि जब तो हमारे दिल्ली सल्तनत थी एट द टाइम ऑफ दिल्ली सल्तनत के टाइम पर क्या था, पूरा का पूरा जो इंडिया था वो डिस्ट्रिक्ट अलग अलग थी, किसी ना किसी के कंट्रोल में थी. ओके, बट नाउ आफ्टर द disintegration they all declared themselves independent. Okay, all states declared themselves independent. That's why India became vulnerable to attacks. The Deccan and the South saw the rise of two powerful dynasties, that is Vijayanagar and Bahamani. So Bahamani and Vijayanagar. So since now we were all talking about the kingdoms of northern India, but in the southern India, there were two powerful dynasties which were independent. One was Vijayanagar and second was Bahamani. The last rulers of Delhi Sultanate were Lodhis of Afghan legacy. So, what happened that the Delhi after the disintegration, or how the disintegration led to the arrival of Mughals in India? So, the last rulers of Delhi Sultanate was the Lodhis of Afghan legacy. The last king was Ibrahim Lodhi. He adopted a despotic attitude. Despotic means ruling with unlimited control over people. See, it is written here, okay? Ruling with unlimited control over the people. That is called despotic. So, despotic attitude towards the nobility. So, all the kings were dependent upon nobles for various administrative purposes and also the military purposes. But now the last ruler Ibrahim Lodi, he disrespected the Afghan nobles. Okay, so that's why they became angry with their king, and they invited the ruler, another Afghan ruler, Babur, to attack India, to attack Delhi, and became took and capture it. Okay, so this was resented by the ministers, military generals, governors. So as a result, the Afghan nobles revolted. Okay, the governor of Punjab, Daulat Khan Lodhi. Now this was the person who invited Babur to attack India through Punjab. So the governor of Punjab, Daulat Khan Lodhi, was also not happy with the attitude of Ibrahim Lodhi. The governors of Bengal, Sindh, Multan, and Jaunpur, and the rulers of Mewar, Malwa, Gujarat, and Khandesh no longer supported the Delhi Sultans. So it was in this setting that Daulat Khan invited Babur to invade India and offered his services. Okay, so in this way, Daulat Khan Lodi opened doors of Punjab to for Babur to enter India and capture Delhi. So in this way, Mughals came to India and established their control in a very short period of time over the entire Indian subcontinent. Okay.